All right, we're with Stanford offensive coordinator Mike Bloomgren, who also does the job on the offensive line. And let's start right there, Coach. You talked about last year about how 7 is the number, not so much a starting 5. So how are you doing in getting to that 7?
I think we're doing a really good job getting 7, 8, maybe even 9, which is a great problem to have. It really is to have that kind of depth. The problem is this film's going to go a long way to telling us who those first 5 are. And I'm excited to get in there, watch it, get this thing graded. On the field, I was really, really pleased with the effort we had today.
And can you talk maybe about the 6 through 9 and the contenders? Coach Shaw kind of named 4 of the top 5, and we know there's a battle at right guard, but who's stepping up to fight for those 6 through 9
You know, I'm going to
spots?
reserve the right to watch the film first, but I'm pleased with how a group of those guys has done coming in here, including those 2 young tackles in Walker Little and Foster Sorrell. I think we've got that battle at right guard, and I don't know exactly what we're going to do with those guys that lose out at this moment, but it's such a good problem to feel like we've got guys that can play college football at this level the way we need.
Now, is there a distinction between the guys who end up at 6, 7, 8 versus the guys who get those specialty roles like the ogre role? Is that kind of its own thing versus just you fell to that role?
You know, some of it's going to have to do with body style. So we know we want a longer guy for the jumbo tight end, and the ogre is going to be the guy that's the most explosive, that can really drive forward, move people off their grass. So we do have kind of in our mind what the perfect jumbo and the perfect ogre looks like. And then when you start talking about short yards and goal line, maybe we can get some different body types in there.
And then let's switch over to the quarterbacks. Keller's back, obviously. I guess there was a little surprise as to just how fast he was up to full go. Where is he in terms of what you've seen the last couple weeks?
Yeah, the marvels of modern medicine, right? I mean, it's been unbelievable to get him back here and see a guy that really seems to be throwing the ball as well as he ever has. And he knows our offense better than he ever has. And so it's really comforting for me, for him going into his second year, and to see him come out here with the confidence and the huddle and the way he's leading our group. He's letting us feel pretty good about things right now.
You talked about evaluating stuff, and last year there were so many variables to what happened on offense. 2 different quarterbacks for half of the games. What is the biggest takeaway from last year that's informing what you're doing this year?
I'd say the biggest thing is us making sure we have everybody in positions to be successful. And it's something we always try to do. But we're trying to be putting those people in the perfect roles, and we do want that continuity. But that continuity is not going to be every down. It's going to be different personnel groupings. It's going to be different situational groups, and that's kind of who we are. We're always going to put people in the best role to be successful. So as we talk about what we learned from last year, we're just going to really keep this thing as tight as we can from a plan standpoint. Really make sure everybody we're throwing on the field is a master of their assignment.
And just one last thing for you. Everybody kind of talks about the need to learn the playbook as it exists, but to what extent do you guys kind of customize it for who Bryce is versus who Christian was, and the same with your receivers and stuff like that?
Well, Bryce has always been part of our game plan for the last couple of years, right? We've found ways to get Bryce the ball, and now he's stepping into the role of carrying it more times per game, just like you saw last year at Notre Dame, just like you saw last year at North Carolina. So there's certainly far from a wholesale change. There's going to be things tagged with his name that will definitely be in his wheelhouse, and we feel he's the best for those things. There will also be things where we want somebody else in that role, and it's either because it's something we feel that that person can do equally as well as Bryce, or something, or even better, you know, if there is a role for that. And at some point, we actually have to give Bryce a break. We can't have him on the field every freaking play like we'd like to, probably. Just like with Christian, we would have loved to have him out there every down.
And then just one last thing, if you had to, based on the film you've seen so far, what's further ahead, the run game or the pass game?
Both. Both are further ahead than they were this time last year, which is really surprising. And why I would say it's so surprising is the new NCAA rules that we don't have two-a-days, that we don't have practice one whole day a week and can't even meet with them. And so we have 300 less plays in this camp than we did last year, of team competitive plays. And for both to be more advanced than last year, I think is outstanding. The pass game is more advanced, honestly, because you got some veteran receivers out there that are doing a great job. The quarterback's playing well, but our protection unit is protecting so much better. And that obviously was an off-season emphasis for us, and it has improved. And I think we're really going to see that early on. And the run game's in a good place. Got some guys that really are working well together up front, and the backs are running really hard.
All right, that's Stanford offensive coordinator Mike Bloomgren.